Alright, so went down to the spot pretty early. I was aiming to get in about probably 3 or 4 hours of detecting. It was just perfect tides, perfect weather. I had no work, so figured I'll make the most of it and head down. It was pretty cold, so chucked on an extra set of gloves today. We're pretty well at the peak of winter, so the water is about 13, 14 degrees depending on the day. When you get a bit of sunlight, it makes a massive difference. So got straight into it, and within about 10 seconds, immediately got a target, which was really cool. I knew there'd be a lot of stuff here. It kind of funnels down off the reef where everyone swims and works its way into the spot, so it can get you can get quite a lot of targets here on a good day, and it only takes a small storm to wash in quite a lot more. So every time I've done it, which is probably maybe 3 times a year, always get rings out of it. There's always some really cool stuff here. So I knew there'd be quite a lot, and I was really hyped. So straight away, I knew this was going to be a silver ring. You just know after a while by the signal, especially when you found so many in the same spot. So that was pretty cool. I was pretty happy with that. And there we go. So chuck that onto the hook, and I'm going to work my way into the deeper end. Now it started to get a little bit deep here, and you get patches where there's all clay, and if you try and stand on it, it is so slippery, you cannot move. And if you don't time correctly when you're sort of on the ground and then jumping back up to get a breath, you can kind of slip on it and lose a breath. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's really dangerous, so you really, really need flippers here, even if it doesn't look that deep. And I'm pretty tall, I'm like 6'5", and I can only just barely stand up there. So it was really, really exhausting. So I got the flippers on and made my way into a slightly deeper part, which was nice and exposed. And throughout the weeks, this area can go from all rocks, like you see here, to just all sand. It changes so quickly. It only takes a small storm to do it. So when I was here, I wanted to make the absolute most of it. I knew I should have got my dive gear, but I didn't want to walk all the way back to the car and have to get it. So I just stayed and I just put up with it. This ring you see here is just tungsten. I knew it straight away just by the color. It's really, really heavy and dense, but there was a chip in the side, so I knew there was like a base metal, something under it. I didn't get my hopes up. You never do. Never get your hopes up on finding gold until you get it tested or you see a hole mark. Until you check it with a magnet. Just, yeah, it's a good habit not to get your hopes up. There's that many fake jewelry pieces around, and yeah, we find quite a lot. So. Getting into the deeper end, um, it was really, really exhausting. It's really hard to keep going up and down, fight the waves, fight the current. So I did have to take a quick break in the shallow end, get my breath back, and I decided to go back out and go over the same area once more. This whole spot was about 30 meters wide and maybe 15 meters. So it wasn't massive, and it's really easy to miss targets when you're going up and down. You think you've covered an area, but there's just little spots everywhere that you just can't get into without going over it multiple times. I don't know if you guys will notice, but there was one spot where this particular rock sticks up, and I went around it quite well and ended up going over it later in the video, and I got a silver ring right next to it, which had already gone over it, and I just happened to miss it. So there's so much stuff here, it's really hard to try and get it all. Now I did get a gold ring eventually. It's just a little 9 carat ring. You know by the signal after you've dug so many, you just know it's going to be a gold ring. It just gives you such a perfect, small, sharp signal. 9 carat gold isn't worth a whole lot, but it does make the trip worth it. It's just a generic gold band. I've found so many at this spot. So, yeah, I'll take it. I'm pretty happy with that. And the last target was just another silver ring. This is the one I mentioned earlier where I'd already gone over this spot. Now I was going to go back the next day and do this spot again, but I went back and it was just too murky and too rough. So I decided not to bother. It wasn't worth the effort. So I went to a different spot that I knew quite well, and you wouldn't believe it, my GoPro was flat. I had it on charge all night. I I made sure it was on charge. The red light was on. So I think there's something wrong with my charger, maybe. But I got a minute of footage, and then it just. And at the next spot, I ended up with another 3 gold rings. I think another silver ring, as well as a pendant. Found this really cool old diving knife as well, which when I got home cleaned up perfectly. It's so cool, and it's still really, really sharp. So I'm really happy with that. Um, Definitely going to sit in the collection. But yeah, I've got another few videos coming up, so stay tuned. Got some really cool finds lately, so it's just getting enough time to edit the videos and compile it all. But I'm getting there, so bear with me. But yeah, thanks for watching.